It's hard not to sit on your hands and bury your head in the sand. Hard not to make all the plans and claim that you've done all you can all alone, and life must go on. It's hard to stand up for what's right and bring home the bacon each night. Hard not to break down and cry when every idea that you've tried has been wrong, but you must carry on. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight, 'cause you know you've got the truth on your side. When the accusations fly, hold tight, don't be afraid of what they'll say. Who cares what cowards think anyway? They will understand one day, one day. It's hard when you're here all alone, when everyone else has gone home. Harder to know right from wrong, when all objectivity's gone, and it's gone, but you still carry on. 'Cause you are the only one left, and you've got to clean up this mess. You know you'll end up like the rest, bitter, twisted, unless you stay strong and you carry on. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight, 'cause you know you've got the truth on your side. When the accusations fly, hold tight, don't be afraid of what they'll say. Who cares what cowards think anyway? They will understand one day, one day. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight, 'cause you know you've got the truth on your side. When the accusations fly, hold tight, don't be afraid carrots think anyway. They will understand one day, one day. It's hard not to sit on your hand and bury your head in the sand. Hard not to make all the plans and play that you've done all you can. All alone, life go on. It's hard to stand up for what's right.
Vegan.
Hard not to break down and cry. Whatever idea that you try,
Been chat on.
but you must carry on. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight. You know you've got the truth on your side when the accusations fly. Be afraid of what they'll say. Who cares what carrots think anyway? They will understand one day, one day. It's hard when you're here all alone, when everyone else has gone home. Harder to know right from wrong, when all objectivity is gone, and it's gone, but you still carry on. Cause you are the only one left, and you've got to clean up this mess. You know you'll end up like the rest, bitter, twisted, unless you stay strong as you carry on. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight. You know you've got the truth on your side when the accusations fly. Don't be afraid of what they'll say. Who cares what think anyway? They will understand one day, one day. It's hard, but you know it's worth the fight. Cause you know you've got the truth on your side when the accusations fly. Don't be afraid of what they'll say. Who cares what carrots think anyway? They will understand one day, one day, one day.
So testing. Let's just see if we are on the correct audio output. Yes. Input. So yeah, let's read the cringe. So what it was, so when it says bring home the bacon, for my remix, actually, I already exported it twice and I didn't check the second time because I don't know, I've still got loads of music stuff to learn. I can't figure out very well it's a whole process in itself. The final what do you call it? Mixing and mastering, I think they call it. And then there was this bit where it says what was it? Everything that you've tried is wrong. Everything that you tried. Where is it? Well, it doesn't want to play, but it says everything that you've tried is wrong. So I changed it to. I'm good on this one.
It's hard to stand up for what's right.
Vegan.
Hard not to break down and cry. Whatever idea that you try,
Been chat on.
but you must.
Did you get that? So I changed it. I inputted every idea that you tried has been shat on instead of every idea that you tried is wrong. It was so funny. So we're going to jump straight in with well, let's get to the what are we going to do with Clyde, because this is so serious, Clyde. This is so serious, mate. So I'm not sure which bit to do first. Maybe should I do this? So this is what we're going to do after, which is we're going to pull apart a few arguments in here very compassionately and sensitively to their slightly, I wouldn't go as far as say hypocritical. I'd say what's the word, when we were going to look at so they use the term whitewash. Now, actually, let's listen to half of this, and then I'll go in with the John Wedger thing. No, let's do the John Wedger thing first. Okay.
Police are now looking at it properly. So they said that's down to your efforts.
Well, you see all this, John. Look, just take a moment. Look. Look. You heard what I asked people. Look at it all. And why do you? What do you mean? I'm not saying it's cause of me. I'm definitely going to be saying it's cause of you. So you need you got to stop being humble when it comes to.
Well, my point is this: I want to make a documentary. Well, we are making a documentary. It's about people that, as you know, when they were younger, they were caught up in the sex industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to speak about it. Come and talk to me and say this is what happened to me. I can't deal with any conspiracy stuff. I can't deal with the Hampstead case or you know, and all sorts of other, the flat earth or anything like that. You know, please, I can't help you with that. Someone wants me to try and fight their non-payment of their rent.
Oh, listen, how funny would it be if John woke up one day, abandoned everything, and started pushing flat earth? That would be the plot twist of the century, mate. Either that or Scientology are my two biggest plot twists for John's life.
I'm a bit partial to a bit of flat earth.
Deep breaths, Jake. Deep breaths, Jake. Did everybody catch that? I can't believe it. I'll let you just process it for a second. We're just gonna. So he says. So he says flat Earth after saying Hampstead, when he himself had said he knows the children are telling the truth. He's actually said he knows they're telling the truth, though. Exactly, yeah. Michaela would relate that to that, in a sense. Loads of them would. They call it a conspiracy, but John himself, he said he knows the children are telling the truth. He said that it's the only reason he doesn't think the case could be dealt with is because the mum messed it up by putting out the information and sabotage the case, and just some bullshit for his own. It gets worse. I mean, you could hit you can actually. I want to send him unconditional units. Unconditional positive regard. So just everyone is doing the best from their level of awareness. If you knew better, you'd do better. But like you say, if you put yourself on stage, you could do not. I'm not excusing anything. I'm just saying that he needs to step down. He needs to have the fucking bollocks. He needs to have the bollocks to stop being a fucking attention whore. He's an attention whore. He's literally. I know we've seen it for years, haven't we? We've seen it. We've seen his arrogance, and just saying that he was trained by the police and that they've got this kind of entitlement, hierarchy status sort of thing. This higher in kind of entitlement sort of thing. There is truth. There's elements of truth to that. I mean, loads of truth to that, but it doesn't excuse it. It's the same as like Mr. Oliver Onion here, concerned Clyde for paedophiles. He is behaving a certain way, so we understand, we comprehend we understand as to why you're behaving a certain way, but does not excuse. It explains. Explanation is not excusation, if that's the word. Excusing. Explaining is not excusing. Yeah, social media activists. Exactly. That's what he sadly has become. Because there's loads of police whistleblowers. There's loads of police that spoke out about corruption that don't do what he's doing. And he thinks he's something different. And the Christian bit is going to blow you. It's going to infuriate. It's going to infuriate you. The Christian bit is really, really annoying. It's 2 parts. But I went back before this. I skip. You'll see me skipping back to where Ron said my name because Rule Britannia at Let's Spit Some Truth was in the chat and was slandering me. And that caused some confusion. So I can't believe he then said that he's partial to the flat Earth. He's partial to the flat Earth, but he can't deal with any conspiracy stuff, including the flat Earth and Hampstead. He's gonna fall, and he's also working with that Turning Point USA, the Charlie Kirk's ex group and stuff. So his ego's really been inflated at the moment. But these Christians are going to fall. And I mean, Charlie Kirk he started going against the Israel and the whole Zionist and the evangelical Zionism sort of thing. So either he was really killed, or they got him out of the way, or he got himself out of the way. He might have faked his own death. You know, he might have just realised he's got such a big stage, he needed to disappear and get out the limelight. And the only way to really do that would be to pretend you're dead, I suppose. But he might have been nefarious from the off. You know, why would he be outing Israel? I don't know. Same with this whole Tucker Carlson thing out in 9/11 in Israel, and there's loads of them. It's all happening. I do trust the good intent in all these people. So let's just listen to that again, just so we can try and process it, not be angry, just be accepting the reality.
I can't help you with that. Someone conspiracy stuff. I can't deal with the Hampstead case, or you know, and all sorts of other, the flat Earth or anything like that. You know, please, I can't help you with that. Someone wants me to try and fight their non-payment of their rent.
Listen, how funny would it be if John woke up one day, abandoned everything, and started pushing flat Earth?
I don't want to laugh at this at all, but we have to in this context. Look at how shitting himself because at this point I've already mentioned Hampstead in the chat. I've already told John I know, and Kaz is asking whether he knew Jake. So I said about having a lunch with him in a cafe in Westminster, next to Parliament, and me, Sabine, John, and someone else, the lady from the beach home. And the lad and fella, can't remember his name. Oh, the one that was on Wake Up UK, actually. What's his name? John's friend. There's that fella, the fella of the child home, Beach Grove or Beach Home. There was 2 different ones, wasn't there? Beach Home and Beach Grove, and this one was Beach Grove. The care home. Alan, John's friend Alan. He was there, I think, and. But yeah, John, I skip back, and Ron says to me in a moment, we can't talk about that case. So you could look at the exhaust. What's he called it? Look at this fear basically on John's cheeks.
Please, I can't help you with that. Someone wants me to try and fight their non-payment of their rent.
Listen, how funny would it be if John woke up one day, abandoned everything, and started.
that outward breath says it all. Look at this. Oh god.
Listen, how funny would it be if John woke up one day, abandoned everything, and started pushing?
Watch his mouth just once more. Bless you, John. Fuck's sake, John, step down.
Listen, how funny would it be if John woke up one day, abandoned everything, and started pushing flat Earth? That would be the plot twist of the century, mate. Either that or Scientology are my 2 biggest plot twists for John's life.
I'm a bit partial to a bit flat Earth.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, gets to his mid-70s, has an actual proper breakdown, and is like, "Nah, Scientology and flat Earth, mate. I renounce everything. No more pants swimming."
you know, my message is just now is the time to speak out now. But you know, in a month, in a day, in a week, I don't know. In an hour's time, something could go kaboom in London, right? For whatever reason, and then all of this child abuse stuff is finished for good. We have got them on the ball. It's hot.
Yep.
We must. People need to be speaking out now. Now, do not be. I want those that are reluctant to go on camera with me, saying they're frightened. Firstly, it's only children that should be frightened. I mean, I'm not knocking them on that, but really, what is my demographic, my genre, and it is people who abuse children, right?
Yeah.
We're not talking about the mafia. We're not talking about the Russians or the Chechens or the Albanians mafia. We're talking about people who abuse children. They abuse children. They are pawn life. They are bullies. Why are you, as an adult, frightened of people who abuse children? Don't be afraid of them, because they are nothing.
I agree. 100%.
End of. There is no bully fight there. They are bullies. You're an adult.
Yeah.
Don't be frightened of them. There is nothing they can do.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm with you.
So
Now,
please speak up.
See, his energy caused the internet to freeze then for a second, and you'll understand in a moment. They're associating all this to. He's basically got involved in all the grooming gangs now. He's working with Ellie, and he's using that as his kind of. He's using the mainstream kind of narrative as his kind of escape route from the depth of it, and kind of trying to power off some of the fear along with this other community that's standing up. So. But he's also been an uber Christian. You'll hear all the uber Christian crap in a moment.
Do you know what's interesting, John? We've seen the
on the other recordings. I went back and caught previous to this. I think I'm not sure where this goes after this.
This radical. You just said it yourself. They're on the fence. Do you know what I think? One unprecedented thing that's coming from this. We have a generation of kids that have grown up with the internet. And I think the kids who are 13, 14, 15, 16, I think they understand how much crap everyone is fed on a level that we will never get to. And I think that the powers that be are so scared of those people hitting 25 and realizing that they have no faith in nothing. I think that is the unprecedented next generation.
Yeah, I think that is a positive backlash of this social media and device thing, is that kids are massively more woken up than they were when I was growing up. Without a doubt, they're more politicized. They're more worldly wise. 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
But also, never been so many 16 to 18-year-old millionaires all around the world. You know, fact.
I must admit, I'm having conversations with
I would say, Adam, like a I don't know, just like overly dogmatic, like cultish, like as if it's like the only answer, and you have to strictly follow, you know, the local church, and you're saved basically, and everyone else isn't, because they're not saved if they don't believe in this idea that I'm not really sure what the technicalities, what you have to go through to just say that Jesus died for our sins, or some silliness, sadly, I think.
15, 16-year-olds, which I would have expected from 40-year-olds. The fact is that they are talking about corruption and about the Vatican, the mafia, the Freemasons, whereas before they were like, I mean, all we had years ago was a thing called the 40 Times.
Right.
And it was a monthly,
Another little bit, Kaylee. All right. See you later, Northie. Yeah, the 40 Times, they also did a tiny little but very brief article when the Hampstead case came out and covered it up. So he the one he represents one references one supposed truth newspaper thingy, whatever you want to call it. It's a little kind of conspiracy paper. And Fortean, I think it's spelled Fortean. Actually, it sounds very much like 14, doesn't it? 14 times. And thank the Lord, hey Oliver. This is a concerned troll for free paedophiles, sadly. Clyde Stanhope, the name that he gave over. Named, so Oliver Onion, for anyone who doesn't know, is concerned Clyde for free paedophiles, sadly. But yeah, so he references this as one example of truth. And maybe they do put out truth, but they either, for whatever reason, nefariously, intentionally or unintentionally put out the Hampstead case in the 40 times.
Periodical, little A5 booklet, and it was all about predictions. People had predicted that, that there might be a volcano erupt in the Canary Islands, or that, someone might be assassinated. And it was a load of mystics and fortune tellers would write articles for the 40 times, and if you Google it, it's still going, but that's the only thing we had. Me and my mate used to get it. We used to read it at school and say, look, come 2030, the world's going to end and all that, and actually they might be bang on. So
and like I say, there is a positive side to the internet. There's a positive side to people having access to all of these things. Power, it's just they control.
When it came to certain Robert Maxwell, he had the monopoly on all science book with secret services. So you just go on.
Epstein files have been released at a point.
I know. News, a lot of it. The news, I checked it.
Who was in Canada, attractions to kids, that guy. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah. That was weird, man. Like, because that's the only one I can squeeze. As counseling for people who admit to having attractions to kids, that guy. Is that the guy you mean? Because that's the only one I can.
He totally blanks out. For fuck's sake. He literally just stops.
I know. News, a lot of it. The news, I checked it.
Who was in Canada, attractions to kids, that guy. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah. That was weird, man. Like, because that's the only one I can squeeze.
Just skipping forward 10 seconds at a time here if you're wondering what's going on. But look at him just blank out, bless him, fuck's sake.
As counseling for people who admit to having attractions to kids, that guy. Is that the guy you mean? Because that's the only one I can think of, other than the dark web encrypted interviews that I've done. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah. That was weird, man. Like, that was a weird one. I almost didn't do that interview.
40, I think I was at 60 Minutes Australia. But they did a couple of interviews with PDF files, and I'm so grateful. I think I was at 60 Minutes Australia. But they did a couple of interviews with PDF files, and I'm so grateful that they did.
Well, John, this is the foundation of my research from years ago. You learn nothing from a lion in the zoo. Okay. All of these PDF files who are interviewed, they are going to 90% of the time portray a sense of guilt. Oh, I've done something wrong. I understand. Oh, I'm going to change. The minute you take away that and you interview them in a place where they feel like they're not being watched, that goes instantly. It's a sense of pride. And I tell you what, these PDFs in the dark web will have nothing more than a new PDF wanting to be part of a community. They take them under their wing. It's like if you and I, John, collected stamps, right? And we're part of a community that collected stamps, and you posted a rare stamp, and in the comment section, we're all going, that's amazing. That's what they're doing over kids and abuse.
Of course, that's what they when we used to interview them and you transcribe the interview, and any other police investigation, the defence would have a copy of it. And we weren't allowed to give a copy of that out because the defence solicitors were giving it to their clients, and they were trading them as
100%
masturbatory material. So but the other thing is,
Wait, John. If you're the craziest story of those reports being used as that material,
Yeah.
I just need to get this one in. So, the craziest thing I seen was the pro child contact, the child lover PDFs, right?
Yeah.
Arguing with the people that like to really hurt children over who was the better form of PDF file. An actual argument.
They're individual human beings who actually show the world and the victim that you can take the power back, and that those that did it to you aren't these big sort of overarching monsters. They were when you was a little tiny kid, but now seeing for what they are. Then I witnessed a miracle. After the Second World War, a lot of studies were done regarding prisoners.
Right. And again, sorry that we're on the freaking. I like to have a little chat with John about religion every week. This was captured.
This offence.
Wow.
Right. That has gone on for over a decade, and that will go on even more so in provincial towns. This is a level of corruption that we are dealing with in local government. Yeah. And ultimately in central government and the mayor's office and everything else. This is how they do it. So they are deliberately suppressing, threatening and bullying to forward this agenda. And no one can tell me that this isn't a centrally orchestrated movement, because it is.
And I just need to jump on something in the side chat. Jake, we can't actually discuss that specific case. But any information you can email to me, just put that word in it.
So what it needs people to start speaking up. I'm working on a documentary at the moment against child P word, exploitation.
Yep.
Now, anyone who's followed me knows that quite recently I've been a bit more vocal than normal, and I've been actually standing up and verbally confronting the heads of the police and the heads of the mayor himself. Yeah. And I haven't backed down and do it.
It's literally just so much irony upon irony, isn't it? Where they literally just. Oh, thank you, Kaylee.
Against child.
But any. I just need to jump on something in the side chat. Jake, we can't actually discuss that specific case. But any information you can email to me, just put that word in it.
So what it needs people to start speaking up.
I just cannot believe the irony. Has he just not realised what he's doing? It's just crazy. But anyway, we'll just part one. It's just before this. It was just the context of something. I can't actually remember what now, but there was just another aspect of the context to this. Is that one?
Child P word, exploitation.
Yep.
Now, anyone who's followed me knows that quite recently I've been a bit
interesting, mate.
Now, what was annoying as well?
Child.
It started before. How long was it? Let's see, but I think it was over 2 hours long. And sorry, I was muted. What was annoying is it actually they made a point. What was it? Because it was before 9 o'clock when they started talking about the satanic 764 cult, offspring cult thing of the Order of Nine Angles. They said that they couldn't mention. They had to cut that bit off. Sean was going to see whether he had to cut that bit off. He was saying for people to clip it, but it might have to be cut off and have to do a separate. Ron was going to do a separate show on it because of the time before 9 p.m. But then it gone 9 p.m. This is like near the end. This is half an hour from the end of the show, I think. And and I don't think they needed to say P word and sex. You know, I think they can say paedophile and sex at that point. I mean, maybe I should be more careful because it's only 4:30. I don't have the age rating thing on, I think, but I don't think they pick up little channels for any reason like that about just words. I don't know how it works, but so yeah, I guess it's probably just the bigger channels and stuff. But yeah, so it's just annoying. I mean, just the way straight after he just ignores the fact that they can't talk about a certain case. He knows what he's doing. This is the thing. He knows what he's fucking doing. He's shit scared, but he still wants to justify his own actions, and I don't know. Like, he obviously gets money out of it to some extent. He gets, this is his life. This is his vocation, whatever you call it, his profession at the moment, isn't it? It's his paid, it's his living, it's his bread and butter, as they say.
A P word,
Yep.
exploitation.
Yep.
Now, anyone who's followed me knows that quite recently I've been a bit more vocal than normal, and I've been actually standing up and verbally confronting the heads of the police and the heads of the mayor himself.
Yeah.
And I haven't backed down in doing it. I've stood my ground, and I've resiliently called them out and challenged them. Anyway, I thought that most people had the same sort of moral fiber that I did, and I want to put a documentary together. And I've been asking people if they were outreach workers,
Mhm.
if they're social workers, or if they were even pimps themselves. Would you be prepared to come and speak out about really what is going on? And they've yeah, John, we're behind you. And I get all these messages, I'm behind you, John. And then when you say, come on, we're going to do some filming, will you speak out like I did? No.
But
And you know what? It breaks my heart. How are we ever going to move forward if we keep our mouths shut?
Yeah.
Now is the time for people to speak out. I don't mean scream and shout, but speak out in a righteous and dignified way. People that do know what's going on, people that do work in Tower Hamlets local authority, people that do work in local government, speak up. Stop being bullied and being silenced, because it will lead us to a place which will be so bad we won't be able to go back. And people like me and many other brave, good, God-fearing Christians will be persecuted like they are in Nigeria. And them days are coming, my friend. Them days are coming. Now is not the time to sit on the fence, because it will be too late. And I'm telling you, I reckon even in a year from now, we won't be having a conversation like this.
Well, nah, I'm not having that, John. Okay, I'm not having it.
Good.
Okay, I'm not having it. I'm not having. And like I say, I'm not the same religion as you, but I wouldn't want, like, for example,
this fake cunt. Sorry, John, you're gonna pay for this. Good. Brave individuals like me with moral fibre don't sit on the fence. It's like he's got a big fat fence plank. Big fat fence plank up his ass right now.
okay, I'm not having it.
Good.
Okay, I'm not having it. I'm not having. And like I say, I'm not the same religion as you, but I wouldn't want, like, for example, like Jesus, right? When you look at the whole freaking, the whole shebang, leave out the story of his birth, all that kind of stuff, right? But just Jesus as a dude, right? Not a bad dude, as a dude for the people of a country to look up to and worship and all that kind of stuff. That
he's acting like he's sitting there playing Sudoku on his phone or something, or the fucking playing with a Rubik's cube or some stupidness. No, bless Rubik's cubes, but it's not the time for a fucking Rubik's cube, John.
he's not a bad dude, right? My gods are war gods and things like this. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a bit.
Well, Jesus took on the bankers. He whipped them. He whipped the bankers with knotted wet rope.
Who did?
And the dove sellers.
He's got no listening skills. He just won't even listen. He's twice now. He's just purely ignored Ron when Ron's asking him something. Jesus hit the bankers with the ropes, and then he's like, "Who did?"
And the bankers, he whipped them. He whipped the bankers with knotted
things like this. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a bit.
Well, Jesus took on the bankers. He whipped them.
He just interrupts him, and then he missed it because he was interrupting him.
He whipped the bankers with knotted wet rope.
Who did?
You know, and the dove sellers. Right, let me show you something. They used to sell doves. They used to worship Baal, this vile god that's about prosperity and wealth. And what they used to do, they used to sacrifice doves to the Baal god. And Jesus went in there and he whipped them. He whipped them and he beat them and he turned the tables over for the money lenders and those that sacrifice the doves. Now, where's the camera here? Let me put this up.
I guarantee you, if vlogging and YouTube existed, that would have been Jesus having a bad day.
What do you see on the back of that credit card? It's a hologram of a dove.
Okay, yeah.
He's an absolute egomaniac.
And that's the banking industry saying they're still doing what they're doing despite what Jesus did. So that even to this day, you know, they're saying, oh, well, Jesus was a myth and all that. Well, why have they put the dove on there? Why is the dove on there? And that is a mockery of what Christ did. And he warned us about these people. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it. This is...
Yeah. The blasphemy is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy was the one God really hated, wasn't it? Along with blasphemy, because blasphemy is basically hypocrisy in a way, isn't it? Because it's we looked into it, didn't it? It's like knowing. Yeah, just before this bit, because this is the bit on the left is the Muslim practice of the boy when they sexualize a young boy, and it's loads of Muslims looking around. So they were. This was but sadly at the moment Ron has really jumped on the Islam fear, which is understandable, but he's almost like I really feels like they're just trying to keep their show going with the most relevant thing that they can pass off and talk about and not get visits from the Met about. And Ron here runs a lot of the shows for Sean. And he's a nice enough bloke, as Sean is, but it's just, I mean, John's a nice enough bloke, quote unquote, but they're just too scared and putting themselves forward and taking the stage. Same as all this, it is literally just another version of what we're dealing with here, isn't it? It's just less drink in public and less. No. I didn't say they're deep state assets, Clyde. I said they're egomaniacs and they're scared. Go on then. Write something to do with that egomania and fear.
It's ancient. This is ancient biblical stuff.
You know what's funny? Up until about 1999, on the back of, do you remember Daz Ultra, the washing up liquid? There used to be a Moloch on the back of every single tub, like container of Daz Ultra. How weird is that? A little Moloch owl, yeah. And then when the internet came about, Gonzo. It's really weird, man.
Okay.
Because you know yourself, icons and symbols have meanings, whether you know the meanings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know what's really interesting, mate? Right, and this is totally off topic. We're in John's section of talking about Jesus now, right? You know how the power of faith and collective faith, right? You know these tiny little like towns in Brazil where the statue of Jesus will bleed and no one can figure it out, right? And it's these people have a more intense faith than I think any of us could comprehend because of the way they exist. You know what I'm saying? Much more rural, much more tribal, okay? And quantum physics, John, done an experiment where they had people in, I think it was Chicago, geographically sit in a circle and each day meditate that crime was going to drop over the summer. And crime did drop over the summer, and they put it down to this collective thought project. Now, that got me thinking about the power of collective thought and why it only seems to be in these tiny little rural tribal villages that the unexplained religious phenomenon takes place. Do you think that has something to do with the collective belief?
Yeah, power of prayer. Yeah, without doubt. Well, it's not just in Brazil. I mean, I went in May to a place in Bosnia called Medjugorje.
Okay.
And it's the same. It's the site of a miracle. Where a statue did the same. As there was a revelation to some children, and then the Vatican gets involved and tries to silence it all. But Fatima in Portugal. But yeah, Medjugorje is a very, very well known place up in the hills, and it's quite an amazing place, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it there. They've proven that.
Here's an interesting one. This was from 9 years ago, John, right? And again, sorry that we're on the frickin'. I like to have a little chat with John about religion every week. This was captured about 9 years ago, and just look at the eyes on this statue here.
Yeah, it's a bit twisted. That is.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. His name. Sorry, Kaylee. Did they mention something? The Soundy's banana bit is from the flat Earth reference to do with Soundly. Someone had they were calling this Soundly person had a banana camera. I don't know if he was pro or against flat Earth, but what were you referring to? Sorry. This is the very end of here, anyway.
Well, watch the eyes. Like that.
Oh, right. Sorry, I just saw your comment.
People have investigated this video, and it's one of these moments where there's no blood trickling out for scientists to come in. It was simply a bizarre moment.
Or maybe the washing up liquid was named after Darren.
Just pretend that there's something. Do you think that this was captured about 9 years?
And that looks like a real human hanging, but I guess not. It's just a big, very realistic doll. But anyway, it's totally irrelevant now. They're just wasting time. So what they were talking about, which was serious initially, was this 764 satanic cult. So the first member to be charged, he was 23-year-old, was arrested for gun possession, which it led to an FBI global satanic cult. So it led the FBI to a global satanic cult. The Order of the Nine Angles, a murderous, elusive XWR satanic cult, extreme right wing, that means, has a new offshoot 764, a splinter group that manipulates kids into producing child sexual abuse material and self-harming. Oh, sorry. So I thought I was sharing the tab. Yeah. So they groom children into apparently their age range is between 9 and 17 that they target or something, because obviously they're the ones that have access to devices, and they basically blackmail them and threaten them with a thing called swatting and stuff like that, where they make up false allegations about somebody and send a SWAT team to their house. It happened to Dan, didn't it? I've seen that video where Dan, Fat Dan, as he's known, what's his surname? I'd like to actually call him by his name rather than just Fat Dan, because it's very derogatory. Even though he calls himself it, but it's a self-demeaning. prophecy, isn't it? Even if he might be a paedophile, you know, when he's trying to help these people, and then he needs the help. He needs the most love, if anything. If he really is an abuser, he's a very, very lost individual anyway. I do remember his surname. It'll come back to me shortly. But so what's it saying? So the group appears to target children between the ages of 8 and 17. Advisory notes and particularly focuses on young people of colour, youth identifying as LGBT, or youth who struggle with mental health issues. Researchers familiar with the 764 indicate that, so there's named 764 after the founder's area code. Not sure if it's this person or a different one. No, he's from somewhere else. So they found out who it was. It's on the. I'll get the as much as Wikipedia is corrupted in many ways, but we'll use it as the tool that it's got lots of information on as well. I did look at changing the input data for the Hampstead cover-up. They actually took the Hampstead cover-up off. You know about this. We spoke about it. It was on there for about a year. It managed to get taken down off of Wikipedia, and it was off for about 8 years. And it went back up after the Channel 4 documentary. So I haven't even tried resubmitting. So I'll just show you what it looks like actually when you go on when you go to change an article on Wikipedia. It might be something you feel like doing, Kaylee. It's just too. It's a lot. It just seems like It seems like we're at a stage where they're going to be addressed for what they've allowed, and it's almost evidence of what has been allowed as well, because and the intent and the effort that like Channel 4, whoever put it up there, the host documentary, the documentary makers, they've gone to cover it up. So it's really preserved evidence of it being the way it is at this stage. So if I go to the Hampstead cover up, on Google it finds it as the Hampstead hoax straight away. It doesn't find it on the actual website. It doesn't find it as cover up. So it's not. They must have just not associated the word cover up with it at all on the website. So if you go to edit, it gives you this view where you can seemingly I could just delete all of this and just input the reality, but it's not massive. It's not loads of information, so it's not that big. It just says brazen things like police were unable to prosecute Christian Draper because the psychological abuse happened in another country when they're on holiday, which is just total bollocks. It says, you can't prosecute somebody when they've come back making allegations about all this stuff, and yeah, because it was done in another country. Total crap. And then there's a bit about Sabine. I think that was the bit I meant. So there's loads of stuff on this 764, but I don't know if I need to go into it now. A lot of people are investigating it. Yeah, it's just loads. It's BBC articles about it. A 14-year-old girl began talking to other teenagers online. Her mother was not too worried. But within weeks, Christina, not her real name, found her daughter's behaviour had spiralled out of control. Her daughter had fallen victim to the extreme online right-wing Satanist group called 764. These groups consist primarily of teenage boys and young men who want to harm girls. At least 4 British teenagers have been arrested in connection with the activities of the international group, including 764 member Cameron Finnegan from Horsham in West Sussex. He was jailed for 6 years in January. And this is October 2025. So we're just over a month ago. So we're I don't know how I missed this before, but is what it is. We've been very busy. Sadistic online gang of teen boys targeting children, says Crime Agency, 25th of March. Is this the same? This one doesn't relate directly to. Oh yeah, no, this is doesn't name 764 here, but maybe they found out more since, I suppose. Yeah, involvement in what the police described as a Satanist terror network targeting children for sexual blackmail. Police searched his home in March last year and found swastikas, satanic symbols, and knives. Officers also found extreme child abuse material and a guide on how to carry out a mass casualty terror attack on his digital devices. That's all not good, huh? It's just loads of articles on it. We've got crimereport.org. It's just loading. The CEO of where? Sorry, Kaylee. Oh, BBC. Well, this is an interesting. Is it called a caveat? Like where? So, as much as I believe that to be true, it very much ties into what I'm going to be discussing in this interview or presentation. So I'm just going to let the first 20 minutes play, and then I'm going to make a comment. There's loads of beautiful, loads of good, amazing information, loads of really good intent. But I do just have to address an aspect which is being overlooked, even intentionally ignored, which is what seems to be the big question over a lot of stuff. And that's where I think your comment really does. Oh, Wikipedia! Wow, yeah, no, I saw that. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, trying to say that some I think it might have been on your live actually. I watched it. Some were saying they're just basically sitting on the fence again, saying, "Oh, some people say that it is a genocide. Some people say it isn't." The opinion, or the Turks. I can't remember. I was watching it, but the Young Turks were talking about it, weren't they? And but yeah, it very much ties into this comment about the plenty of time to pick a side. Are people neglecting intentionally, avoiding information, ignoring, downplaying, misleading, or what's the other one where people are genuinely ignorant to or misled by?
Ahla Sahla, Malcolm Rayan, and this is episode 4 of the Vegans for Palestine podcast. We dedicate this episode to a young Palestinian child named Hind Rajab. Hind was brutally murdered on the 29th of January 2024 by a military that frequently describes itself as the world's most moral vegan-friendly army. That's right, I am referring to the IOF, otherwise known as the Israeli Defense Forces. In this episode, Dalal and Wasim apply a critical vegan Palestinian lens upon this supposedly vegan-friendly army. Further, listeners are advised that the following episode contains crude and distressing descriptions of how the Israeli military, settlers, and society collectively torment and abuse both human and non-human animals across occupied Palestine.
One thing you may not know about him, he's vegan. This fact should not necessarily be so surprising, as in fact, the Israeli military is the most vegan army in the world, with 1 in every 18 soldiers, more than 5%, declaring themselves as vegan.
Right now, if you were to look up who has the most vegan army, Israel would come up as number 1. But first of all, vegan army is an oxymoron.
Yeah, that's how I would say it. Yeah,
sense. Yeah. A vegan army is an oxymoron, and it doesn't make sense that you have soldiers fighting and killing people and calling themselves vegan, compassionate, and ethical and moral, and all of that. First of all, that specific Israeli army okay, in quotes, are many of those that have refused that service used to be vegan, like they used to identify as vegan, but now we turned from that into the most vegan army, and I don't know how you go from refusing to commit war crimes to be the most vegan army.
Yeah. How did we actually get to the point where we see and hear about the most vegan army in the world, who are basically committing genocide against the human people in Palestine and the animals in Palestine, and that's all sentient beings in Palestine, but they are still vegan, wearing vegan cruelty-free boots and having all these vegan-friendly meals, and they claim themselves to be vegans. What the batikh is that?
What the batikh?
How is that even possible? What does that even mean when we hear all of these words across social media platforms and the news?
So it's important to remember that, like, first of all, being part of the animal rights movement and calling yourself vegan means that you stand for values that are against oppression and against exploitation of any living being, any sentient living being. So to be actively now fighting in a military occupational army and go around and kill people while still clinging on to veganism, something must have changed in you. Something must have changed your perception about veganism. And that was not you by default that changed that. It was pretty much propaganda that pushed you towards that. It was propaganda, and should I say state-sponsored propaganda, because the Israeli colony specifically saw an opportunity in that. And that really goes back to something that they call, many vegan Israelis call, the vegan revolution. And that happened about, 15 years ago in 2010, 2011. That was the start of it. Because before that, we had some number of Israeli settlers refusing to commit war crimes and refusing to join the occupation forces, most of whom seem to be vegan, according to some data that came out in an article that I read. The article, interestingly, is called There Are No Chickens in Suicide Vests, which is a very interesting topic to read about and to understand the perception of vegan Israelis. And now, after 2010, 2011, all of a sudden, we have the start of going towards having the most vegan army. And again, like I said, that's part of a state-sponsored propaganda because it allowed their colony and their government to use veganism, use animal rights as part of their Israeli national identity, so that everybody can unite, whether you're a right wing, you're a left wing, you're compassionate, you're anti-occupation, all of that. No, let's just all unite for the animals and only for the animals. Nobody else matters. And as long as you're helping with that, then you're doing good. And there's many references throughout the years with that, including some major and large vegan figures in the Israeli animal rights movement. One of them is called Ori Shavit. She's quoted in an article saying things like, well, we feel like we can't help with the political situation, so we just tend to see the advocating for animals as something good that we do. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but that's just what that quote really says. So yeah, it's all state sponsored, it's all pushed down, it's all propaganda that the government wanted to use. And it's not just, we have to go back to why is it, like, why did they want to use vegan washing as a tool? Because it's not unique to use a type of washing, a type of, it's not unique to use the type of washing, because it's also included in like greenwashing with the environment, saying that they have the most sustainable economy, sustainable technology that helps with the environment. They have art washing, they have pink washing, all of that using specific, let's say, progressive movements in the West, so that the West can relate to Israel as part of them as well, so that those people can stop criticizing Israel. Because we have to go back, and this is interesting, because we're going to be jumping back and forth between a big timeline, and I think that's okay for the listeners, because it's really a roller coaster for people to understand. This whole thing comes down to, I want to take you all back to like 2005, 2004, 2005, even early 2000s, and we know that during that period there was the Palestinian Intifada, the second Intifada, where there was an uprising against the occupation, and there was a lot of violence, and there was a lot of aggression from the Israeli side. And you believe it or not, it got to a point where the Israeli occupation was receiving criticism globally. Even, I'm not even kidding here, but even the president of the United States at the time, Bush, had condemned Israel for taking out a Hamas leader in his house, killing his family and his children, and saying that that's not okay. So, and then taken into contrast now, what we're seeing in Gaza, that's just the normal now, right? Like, that's what people are okay with now. So a lot has changed between now and then. And the reason for that is, as I said, going back to 2004, 2005, is there was a government-backed campaign that basically the Israeli government wanted to find ways to stop people from criticizing Israel. And this didn't just happen out of the blue. There's multiple events that came into play for that. Not just the fact that they were going through the Intifada, but also during 2003, 2004, the International Court of Justice actually came out with a report that said that we do find that the apartheid wall that the Israeli occupation is upholding in the occupied West Bank is illegal, and their apartheid regime is not, it's not okay, and it's against international law. So with that came a lot of criticism, but also at that time, if some of you may remember, that the BDS movement, the Boycott, Divestment, Sanctions movement, came into play. Just about a year after that ruling came out, and that started to get traction around the world, and it started to affect the economy of Israel at the time, because nobody wanted to be involved with a settler colony that's against international law. We have an obligation to do that, whether or not we benefit from it. We have an obligation to do that. So the companies worldwide, governments worldwide, knew that they would be coming under pressure, and Israel knew that they needed to counteract that. So they came out with Brand Israel, and that government-backed campaign included various types of washing, like I said, from art washing, pink washing, green washing, and now vegan washing. And
because you can wash everything, basically.
Everything, like, you could just, you have blood on your hands, just wash it away with things that people can relate to and think that you're doing good for the world.
This is all strategic. It's a way for Israel to promote itself as a state that is liberal, that is progressive, and distract the attention basically from the ongoing violations of human rights, of animal rights, of Palestinian rights, basically. And it's way easy in Israel to fight for anything except for Palestinians. It's all part of the propaganda. It's all part of what this institute is, what this state is basically built on.
For sure. And just to you're saying that, like, they're trying to, like, present themselves as liberal and progressive. There's actually a quote going back to the idea of them using veganism. There's a quote by the founder of an organization called Vibe Israel, which brings, has tours to bring people from around the world, specifically the US, Canada, and the UK, not necessarily for, like, settlements or things like that. So these are, like, non-Jewish people. They're just, like, people that might be criticizing Israel, and they bring them on tours to show them the progressive side, the liberal side. So with veganism, there's a quote by this founder that I'm going to read it here. I have it in front of me. She says, "The online vegan community is huge and mostly draws people with liberal viewpoints, with a stronghold among women and millennials. These three audiences tend to view Israel more critically than others, and we felt it would be a good topic through which to raise awareness for Israel. We believe that engaging this generation with Israel through what they care about is the best way to enhance Israel's global reputation." That's, again, about the online vegan community. And this person that I just mentioned, her name is Joanna Landau. I don't care if I'm pronouncing her name right or not, but anyway, she is actually on the board of Brand Israel, and she also has ties to she also has ties to a publication whose president used to be the president of AIPAC, the lobby group in the US. So again, there's so many ties between so many people that strategically, as you said, Dalal, that strategically wanted to push for this and push for people to start viewing Israel as more, quote unquote, liberal and progressive. And veganism, they saw veganism as part of that. And unfortunately, it worked. You see a lot of major news outlets, major vegan organizations touting Israel as the vegan capital of the world, as the vegan as the place of, like, where veganism is great, and people to go on tours in, and people to to have vegan tourism in. So it's all strategic and it's all for a purpose. I want to bring attention to people that it's not just these vegan washing is not just to deter people from the animal rights movement and from the vegan community from criticizing the settler colony, but it's also a way to push for their developments in the industry, in the food tech, in lab-grown meat, and all of that, so that they can uphold that economy that that is oppressive and that oppresses Palestinians. Much of which we see many examples that these same companies that even the settler colony, their government themselves keep pushing and advertising as, the first innovative lab-grown meat. Many of them have been donating to the army, and many of them even exist on stolen land. So all of that is not just to deter people from criticizing the settler colony, but it's also to benefit from the animal rights movement in order to uphold oppression, which goes against our values as vegans, right? So it's interesting.
When I was looking at the topic of vegan washing, it really took me across many articles online that's a topic for a different time to talk about, but this is very interesting that we have something called white veganism. I know that there's really enough literature yet on what is white veganism, but in short, it's everything that is written by white people who claim that they have, like, they are sitting what is veganism and how people in different countries across different cultures would be adopting this philosophy in their lives. And but again, when we're talking about vegan washing, it's very important that people it's not just a matter of the food you eat or the things you drink or the kind of clothes you wear. There is a lot of intersectionality with politics, with human rights, with animal rights, and with the very ethics and morality of what it takes to be vegan. And we're seeing online a lot of vegan people actually are not they're still subscribing to vegan products and to vegan corporations and promoting them, and at the same time they claim to be standing up for human rights, let alone rights. And it doesn't make sense when are not people actually realizing that there is a lot of connections. There are many connections basically between the two things, between standing up for abuse and manipulation of animals, and at the same time the abuse and manipulation and oppression of humans. Why are we failing to see that as vegans? Why there aren't many educated vegans out there who can simply unsubscribe from the vegan washing that is happening? And at the same time, we are actually pushing forward for the political agenda of occupation, and how the Israeli government and other governments are all complicit in this genocide. But there is a lot to unpack here, but maybe why are we failing to see that as vegans?
That's an excellent question. And I would answer it by saying that, as you mentioned, with white veganism, or the colonizers' version of veganism, let's say, like I said earlier, it's changing the perception of the movement. It's changing what it means to be a vegan. And right now, it seems to be that what it means to be a vegan is your convenience at reducing animal harm, not the actual reduction of animal harm. So that means that you have, as long as you have products and ways of living the same way that you lived before, but without causing harm to animals, then you're doing good. And that is very problematic because, it's problematic for many ways, but one of them is, of course, as we mentioned, it's directly tied to the oppression and to the exploitation of people. And again, this is not just about Palestine. I mean, Palestine is the focus in what we're discussing, but like I said, there are many companies, whether they're vegan or not, that they exploit, they exploit people, that there's child exploitation, yet they produce vegan products, and those products are commonly used. And like I said, that's one thing that you're causing harm. But the other side that I don't think people often think about is it's actually very harmful to the animal rights movement itself, because it's giving a very wrong, false idea about what veganism is to the rest of the world. So non-vegans look at vegans and say, this is your movement. Your movement is to exploit other living beings in order to protect the animals. And don't get me wrong, we do need to protect the animals, and we are not their saviors, but we're trying to explain to people that your use of animals as, some type of product is not right. But at the same time, using other living beings is not right to do that. And that's really the essence of veganism, isn't it? Like to stop seeing humans and animals as one being more superior than the other or one being above the other. So why are you choosing that? And that is actually causing a lot of harm to the vegan movement. As you know, we share a lot of things on Vegans for Palestine. I share a lot of things on my personal page about that. And nearly every time, there's a post on vegan washing and specifically calling out Israeli companies or even companies that are associated with Israel, every time there's a vegan that comes in and they're like, well, if you do this, then you're going to be killing animals. If you do this, then you're harming the animals. And it's like, are you ignoring the other part? Why can't we do both? Why can't we protect both? Why can't we refuse that? And again, to remind you all, because to him or them, those people that are coming in, there's actually one specific person that comes to mind that has not ceased to stop coming to my comments and leave these such comments. But in general, these people that come into comments and with arrogant responses like that, it's not just dehumanizing to Palestinians, but again, it proves the point of convenience. You're doing it because you think that Israel's existence as a vegan capital and their development and all of that is good because it's helping you not cause harm to animals. But it's not actually not causing harm to animals because we're seeing, the ways Israel and their army is carrying out genocide, not just against the people, but they're also harming animals, whether it's in Gaza or in the West Bank. Settlers just go around and sorry for this, but they chop off donkeys' heads and put them on places just to threaten people and
They do that to pigs as well.
Exactly. And their claim is that if we don't do it, they're going to do it. So we're just sending a message or, also there's threats. There's also, it's just sadistic in a way that I can't describe because this topic can go on and on and on about how Israel keeps claiming that they are morally superior for having the most vegan nation. They claim to have 5%, 7%, whatever the percentage is. And they claim that the majority of the nation is susceptible of veganism and of caring about the animals. Yet they go around and call Palestinians animals to justify their oppression, their genocide. So how does that work?
Vegan friendly to call.
Yeah, and that organization, Vegan Friendly, that is now spreading all around the world, specifically in the West, the UK, US. I'm seeing them here in so-called Canada. They're there to again put the footprint and say Israel is doing the best work in veganism, and we have the proof to show it. But it's not vegan friendly, as I'm going to quote you here, as we discussed earlier. It's genocide friendly.
Genocide, yeah.
It's just to make genocide more friendly, and genocide. The genocide of Palestinians didn't just start from October 7th. It's escalating since then, but it's always been there, and it's just wild to me that people buy into that. And I know that many people may have not known about this. Many vegans may have actually bought into the propaganda because I have to admit, Israel does a really good job at portraying themselves as vegan friendly, or at least they used to. But then as soon as they started advertising themselves as having the most vegan army with 10,000 soldiers that are vegan, and all of that, it doesn't make sense to me. How are vegans in the West looking at that and saying, yes, more vegan armies or more armies should be doing that? We have major animal rights organizations specifically saying more countries need to learn from Israel's military in regards to veganism.
I do apologise for what it's worth, Clyde, and for what sincerity I mean it with. I didn't actually, I haven't read any of these comments yet. I've been out of the room. So let's go through. As I said, I watched documentary. Yes, what we're saying. So it's now public. I wasn't aware about it. So you didn't tell me about it, did you? You didn't pull me up on not knowing about it before. I've just raised my awareness of it. I was showing people that I am now aware that they've been prosecuted. I was congratulating and celebrating in the information, the apocalypse, the unveiling of that truth to myself. apocalypse in Greek means unveiling of hidden truth, by the way. It wasn't necessarily, well, it was technically hidden at the time when it was, before it was dealt with. They were a somewhat secretive group. Discord and Telegram. Discord? I think so. It's a shame. Telegram, it's a shame. I think these channels, these more private channels, they need to, I think Telegram needs, as much as we know we love the idea of privacy and stuff. I heard Working Class Patriot premiering a conversation. He premiered 2 conversations in 2 days. They're so up their own fucking asses. It was just 2 fucking chats on discussions on stuff. Just meaningless shit about face identity stuff and, you know, digital IDs and all this stuff. Taking cameras, auditing supermarkets, and a camera picking you up because you've got another camera on when you walk in. And he's premiering them like they're like, we need to replay these discussions that we had on the panel because it's just so shit. I feel for them. Freemason was on Cosmic Kitty's panel. Let's just go through the comments anyway. Months later, giving a terrible account of what happened. Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. I think you're trying to belittle me and demean me. Facts and backing up those facts with evidence is what is important, and you fail to do that every single time, and you wonder why people laugh at and mock you. No, we showed the evidence and the facts, Clyde. I think you're... Where are the people laughing and mocking us? I think it's just you paedophiles, isn't it? You just... Lyndon? What is Lyndon? Lyndon, a voice for sincerity and authenticity? What, Rule Britannia? What, AJ, Lucifer? You think these people are laughing and mocking at us and they're like of any substantial, significant, actual representation of anything? CC calling that a slut? Yeah. Apparently she's being a bit crazy though. He's so concerned, isn't he? Yeah. Ah, a nice one. That's cool. Vegan. Yeah. Yeah, that's happened before, isn't it? Happens in waves, I think, at times. Yeah, I forget how you behaved over the years. Actually, yeah, Clyde, you've been a bit erratic, aren't you? Sort of unpredictable, but then also very predictable, depending on where you are with things. Really, 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 really concerned. Really, 6 reallys. Wow. I should ignore your comments for 10 minutes every time and see how you you start flapping like this. Oh man, I feel so sad for you. I really, really, truly, honestly do. Okay, we'll take Pip's word for it. I think we've got an idea. Ah, thank you. Well done with your work, everything you do. I don't get how you're saying that. I said everything that was being reported on it. I don't get what you're. What do you want me to give the details about how they groomed the children, what abuse levels? I didn't want to talk about the animal and the child abuse at that time. It was just to raise that it had been noted and recorded on record in official records. Yeah, she is. Some of it she does karaoke. I watched one of her karaoke's. One of the songs was a bit better than the other. I turned it off before she did Eminem. Do you know which which one was it? I can't remember. They were asking her to do. Apparently, she does one a lot, and they were asking her to do a different one. Just do a different one that time. Monkeys, owls. Yeah, there's all that as well. That's another element of the animal exploitation, isn't it? I've only been around 10 minutes. What on Natalie seeking the truth? Natalie trying to find the truth, whatever it's called. Channel Natalie looking for the truth. I think it's called, isn't it? Natalie looking for the truth. Okay. 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 Thanks. We could look at Forrest Gallant. Yeah, I've got lots of comments on this, or some, not so much loads, but some deep comments on this vegan whitewashing or vegan washing, art washing and greenwashing. Just don't. I want to put it sensitively, but I also don't want to overly sensitize it. Overly sentiment it, or I think it's just the ice, or something needs to be broken. The silence needs to be broken. So my words that I was going to do a little diagram, actually, kind of like a spider diagram, or like a table where there was 4 corners, 4 sections, but I didn't get around to doing it just now. I wonder if I could type. I wonder if I could do it on screen. I wonder if I could use Canva. Well, this Forrest Gallant actually has
Santa Barbara, California.
Actually has loads of animals himself as well. So look at that. That's what a box to keep an animal in, and then an animal in another one above it. It's not fair, is it? These animals like to travel around. Little fish tanks. They are the evil of the world. Fish tanks should all be eradicated. No more fish tanks anymore. No more fish tanks anymore. No, I think we'll give that one a miss, Pip. If I type in Canva, can I actually draw something? Type things on. Oops. Can I type things on screen? Live. I was hoping I was already logged in. Oh, maybe I am. Here we are. Presentation. I know that would be to make whiteboards. Oh, I thought I was sharing that tab. Here we are. Text. Add a text box. So we've got vegan washing. And the term art washing, which is I guess that covers all sorts of very broad term, I suppose, but also maybe very specific as well. And then the green washing is obviously to do with the environment, which they link vegan washing to. No, I think they are overlooking that there are people that are genuinely vegan in Israel as well, and they went. You know, the Nova Music Festival was a peace festival. Supposedly, it was celebrating peace, and they wanted peace and everyone involved. But where I think they need to be more honest, if they want to actually make waves, make change, you know, actually be taken really seriously, then my theory is oh yeah, Kaylee, I just saw your comment. Thanks. Found it. So I could actually make this full screen, couldn't I? So I've got to be sensitive with these people, but they have certain prophecies that are written down in their scriptures, which half or not, or more than half, well, the Sunnis and the Shias, 90% of the UK and 90% of Palestine supposedly are Sunnis, and Sunnis are the ones prescribed to certain hadiths that they consider as serious as the Quran, basically. And if they're not going to address some of these stuff and ask for oh, how did that happen? Why is it black? Or you can prompt anything. Let's see what it says. If I try and prompt belief washing, let's see what it says. See, that's I never heard of it really, but it's just something I made up. But belief washing is a term that refers to the practice of presenting superficial, insincere beliefs or values to create a certain image or impression. This often involves organisations or individuals claiming to support certain causes or ideologies without genuinely committing to them, often for the sake of public relations or marketing advantages. So that would actually come under the vegan washing that they're explaining as well. So that actually, this one really goes. Oh, what's it doing? Oh no, I can't move it now. Okay, I think there's a. Okay. So this would come under both of them. Oh, can we move it? Well, I think they're both doing this. Yeah, this is my problem. So they are ignoring. So they're not actually. So they're doing the opposite. So they're doing the opposite to what they're alleging they're doing. So they're saying that they're vegan washing by claiming to be vegan, but they are either sincerely or inadvertently. What else the word? Inadvertently or accidentally. They're belief washing by not addressing these prophecies, these claims that the end times will not come until the Muslims fight the Jews and the Muslims will win, because at the last days the rocks and the trees will speak and say there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him. So even if that was going to be the truth, at that stage, I can't say that the Israelis are not going to be shit scared for their lives and concerned for their well-being all the time, to the point where they're going to act very irrationally, insane. So it's just very disturbing. It's very upsetting. It's very unfortunate. And then the other term that I thought was wish washing. I don't think I need to put that in there because it's a bit confusing, but because prophecy and belief covers. So basically the idea that they're actually wishing wishing war. I will actually write that just because it's quite profound. Let's put it next to this one. Can we duplicate so it's got the black background as well? However that happened. So I really want to address this publicly. I'm hoping I'll get the chance to actually raise this, because then we can start making headway. We can start actually rectifying everything that's gone on. So this is my theory anyway. Let's have a quick look at look at this. Share my tab. Look at this, Kaylee. 360, 814 down the bottom. This was just turned from 3.84 gigabytes down the bottom here. Bandwidth saved. Let's see what Israel art washing is. Oh, so film. Yeah, I was thinking art as in drawings, art, but obviously a lot of it's going to be film as well. DBS is the boycotting movement, isn't it? Oh, the Eurovision, yeah, art washing through music, of course. Yeah. Oh, he said he wasn't going to go. Radiohead man said he wasn't going to go to there, didn't he? They went ahead with it in Tel Aviv. Oh, 2017. Oh, they've refused since. Allegation Israel is. See, look, ADL. The ADL is saying pink washing. They're calling it pink washing. They're the only ones to re-term it something else. Oh, look, there's even back in 2021, look, vegan washing. Israel is often unfairly accused of various forms of washing, including pink washing, green washing, and vegan washing. Terms used to dismiss or deny characteristics of Israeli society that reflect democratic and liberal values in an effort to delegitimize the state and its policies. Pink washing, a combination of the words pink and whitewashing, was originally coined by critics of corporations that marketed products and services featuring the color pink or the pink ribbon associated with breast cancer, criticized as mainly a marketing ploy. These corporations were charged with making expanded profits with very limited account of the proceeds actually supporting breast cancer research and services. In some cases, were charged with using materials in their products linked with heightened risk of breast cancer. In the anti-Israel space, the term washing is used by anti-Israel activists to characterize positive aspects of characteristics of Israeli policy, like the promotion of LGBT rights, referred to as pink washing, environment activism, greenwashing, or even veganism and vegan washing, as a premeditated Israeli strategy to deflect attention from what they argue is Israelis' persecution of the Palestinians. Anti-Israel activists who accuse Israel of washing refuse to recognize any positive Israeli attributes and willfully ignore realities of the country's vibrant democracy in order to so. So this is Anti-Defamation League, which are they specifically just for Israel? I mean, just for Jews, or are they for all different groups? Nah, Jewish, yeah. Founded in 1913. See, I don't want to go into the spiritual aspects of possession and stuff like that as well, and why people are born into certain areas. Should have to touch on reincarnation and everything else. So, which is why I was playing those books before previously, Many Lives, Many Masters, on reincarnation, because it is just such a fundamental aspect of understanding. It's a proven reality. So we have to. We can't take it out of the conversation if it's been proven. Let's go through your comments. Okay, sorry, Pip. Yeah, he goes undercover. I understand. Maybe he does some stuff where he does some good stuff, because I mean, he looked like he wanted to care for his animals. He doesn't want to see the mistreatment of them, quote unquote mistreatment. But I just don't like to see animals in small cages, especially being bred into existence just for the sake of further breeding into existence. If something's being rescued and it's being kept in confinement, that's one thing. If somebody made a mistake and got an animal, but I knew somebody used to be supposedly very spiritual, took people on psychedelic kind of meditate. He did a huge amount of meditation. It'd take people on psychedelic journeys of like healing and stuff. Yeah, he was breeding tortoises into existence to sell in his little tiny flat in Plumstead, South London. It's not a flat house, just a little tiny garden and shed. My sister got my mum a tortoise for about when she was 50, knowing it might likely outlive her as well. And it's got these really long nails because it doesn't walk on the right terrain. They're meant to walk on rough gravel and stone, and their nails wear down naturally. So because when people don't realise initially at first, they don't sort out a correct environment for them, and then their nails get long and the blood vessels actually grow into the nails, and then you can't even cut them shorter because they've already got blood vessel without really hurting them, but then they'll bleed, and then I don't know what you can do. And then the hands start growing inwards. It's just so tragic. And they're lonely, they love to be around other tortoises as well and make love and procreate, and it's the worst. And then they've got the temperature. They don't get the natural sunlight. They're not getting the sunlight to their shells and their bones and their skin and their soul. So sad. Clyde, you are just rude. Just mean. We'll help you. We'll help you, mate. You can repent from all your thoughts. Going to change your ways. Repent just means apparently from the Greek etymology to just change your ways. By the way, change your mind, change your thoughts. But yeah, I think we covered everything really. There's probably loads of stuff I could play. We could play the streams of Michaela, even talking about striking. Should we just play that until someone goes live? If anyone's going to go live after Kaylee's amazing post, that's finally. Ghost and fucking G Block are both live.
It's a heavy song. I'm gonna play my new intro. Do you want to hear my new intro, bro?
Definitely, bro. Come on.
Oops, I shouldn't be sharing the screen, should I?
Still loading. So let it load, and then I'll play it. Play my new intro music, man. It's a heavy song. It's people are gonna enjoy it. Some people might hate it, but we're not here to please the haters, man.
Exactly.
We're not here to please the haters.
Yaga.
An accent when I'm filming Urdu when I invest.
Yeah.
Streets, camera ready to catch. Far right, not spreading lies, but truth I'm here to snatch. Northern accent when I'm filming Urdu when I investigate. People's champion, but I keep it humble, let the facts relate. They don't see me coming, that's why Ghost the perfect name. Exposing all their hatred. Northern born and bred, but roots reach back to Pakistan.
Handle with my lens, that's always been the plan. Every clip I post becomes a weapon against their hate. When they try to divide us up, I show we're proper grade. Communities behind me, though I keep me face concealed. Truth's the only mission, every story gets revealed. Ghosts, people's truth, through the streets, got the proof, can't deny.
Let me make Ghost laugh.
What's
Ghost
on
can
tape?
make you laugh before you stop
When
the
the
show.
facts
Let it finish.
Oh, yeah, okay,
some man try targeting
my bad,
muscles,
my
thinking no one sees, but
My
I'm there
bad, brother.
recording.
What's his name? That one, the South African fella. He come and interrupted it. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm the best citizen journalist in the world. Fucking hell, mate. You're gonna learn. We're gonna find out who you are, Ghost. We're gonna get a picture of you. We're gonna see you on the camera and everything. We're gonna get you public. We'll come and shake your hand after you've gone vegan. So yeah, I'm going to record these two. So basically, they started at exactly the same time. They both started 2 minutes ago. From when I looked at it, 2 minutes. They both started 4 minutes ago. So Veli's got Clayon's got at 7 watching. It just went to 8, and then Ghost has got 28 watching. Clayon says that he's in Preston. Clayon's location says Preston. So I don't know what's going on there, but I guess I'll just let's just say what's Justin's comment. Oh bless. It might be, mightn't it? Oh, don't be jealous, Clyde. You know, we've all got our own different walks of life, and maybe you'll reincarnate as me next time. No, I'm joking. But no, you can still, you could be a hero, Clyde. Think what you could do. Think what you could. You will be so respected and appreciated, regardless of how many children you may have or not hurt, scarred, emotionally traumatized, killed, what animals you might have hurt, caused intentional suffering to. Love you, Clyde. Come on, you can do this. Okay, I'm gonna go and figure out which one of those I want to track from where to where. We'll go and have a little team meeting. But thank you, everybody. Here's what it is, eh? We'll continue next time.